roomies, go get your plates, grab your food, and come sit down and eat with me. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell button so you can get future notifications every time the roommates drop a new video. Enjoy watching, y'all. Now let's eat. Hey roomies, how y'all doing? If you're new, welcome. And if you've been here a while, you know it's time for that countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. So roomies, today I got rotisserie chicken that we got from Costco, and then asparagus, steamed vegetables, and rice. And I bet you guys were thinking that when I did that countdown, I would decide to do the vegetables first, but I prefer to do the vegetables first just because it's not going to take as much time. I don't have to cut it like how I would with the chicken. So today I have an interesting topic I want to discuss with the roomies. So during this pandemic, Junior and I were curious to know if they put the 5G towers in my old neighborhood where I grew up. Because my old neighborhood, it was pretty much like it wasn't the city, it was like 3 miles from the city, like right before the north side is, but like where the suburb ends. So it was kind of like that. And so we're riding around to see like where they put the 5G towers. And we noticed it was a big tower right on top of my old high school, like right on the building. Like right on the roof of the building. And we're just thinking like, we're looking at each other and we're thinking like, how is that gonna work? Because once they put the 5G in like full effect, a lot of people will be getting sick. And it is like very unsafe to have those towers on top of a school, nonetheless, with 900 or more students. Because if it's that close to the school, kids and teachers are going to be having headaches. They're going to be getting sick. And at the time we've been in the house, you go outside and you see construction workers working outside. They're putting those 5G sensors in the lights, like on the light poles, where the traffic lights are. And it is crazy. It's like they're everywhere. when I saw that, I'm thinking like right above a school. That's really like saying, that's like the government saying that we don't care, about our kids. Putting the 5G towers above a school. Like, I hope to God that there are no more schools that have 5G towers on there, because that is extremely dangerous. I mean, I know this is not going to happen, but I hope and pray that they end up taking down those towers before the schools open back up, before that particular high school opens back up. Because otherwise they're going to have a problem on their hands. They're not even going to be able to run the school if, like, the radiation from the towers are in full effect, especially in the winter. But it's like, my question is this. What is the point of the towers? Like, I feel it hurts people more than it helps. Like, I don't see the point of it at all. Because we're walking around with face masks. We can barely breathe with them on. Yeah, I mean, they say that you're supposed to get like an hour of sunlight every day and fresh air. But it's like, how are you getting any fresh air if you gotta wear a mask? Because I know when I can't even be outside with a mask on. I just can't do it. I tried putting a mask on while I was outside. And I feel like when I have it on, I can't breathe. Or like I'm suffocating in my own in my own breath. It's like, I don't know, to me it's like wearing the mask is like it's like trying to breathe, putting a pillow on your head. Like if someone puts a pillow on your head trying to suffocate you, and you're trying to breathe with that thing on your head, it's impossible. That's why, if I go into a store, if no one is looking, I do pull the mask down to breathe out of it. But I honestly think that the mask is hurting people more than it's helping them. Like, yeah, if it keeps you from spreading anything. But at the same time, I feel like it's weakening the immune system because you're not able to breathe. And the summer is even worse wearing those masks. Because in the summertime, it's already 90 degrees out. And then you gotta cover your face? I mean, what is that? I just feel like this whole thing is just absurd. And what I'm thinking is, like, what is the whole point of all this? Like, what I don't get is, what is our president accomplishing by us having to go through this? By putting COVID-19 in the world at all, or having 5G towers. Like, what does that accomplish? If any of you want to comment on this, I really want to know what your opinion is. I mean, honestly, I hope to God that this man does not get another term. Because honestly, he does not care about, he doesn't care about anyone. He doesn't care about our youth. And he doesn't care if he wiped out, if he were to wipe out a whole city with these 5G towers, or even states, nonetheless. Like, sometimes, I kind of think sometimes, like, what would the world be like? What would the world be like? And this is my honest opinion, my question to you guys. What would the world be like if we just didn't have cops? If we didn't have cops, what do you think, Roomies? Do you think it would be, like, more chaotic? Or do you think it'd be more peaceful? Because personally, I think cops make a situation worse than what it is. Like, I think if we didn't have cops and people just took things, like, people just take things and, like, take matters into their own hands. I mean, that's honestly what I think. But then I also think, like, if we didn't have cops and there was still crime, I think there'd be less crime just because we'd all be carrying, like, guns for protection. And you wouldn't have to worry about people breaking in your house because they would know if they break in the house, they're gonna get shot. Instead of someone just calling the police and letting that guy get away. Because as much time as it takes you to call the police, that person would have gotten away. And then by the time the cops get to your house, they're going to end up shooting whatever person lives in your house because of how paranoid they are about the situation. And on top of it, depending on the neighborhood the cops are in, they don't even be announcing themselves these days. They're most likely the type to kick down the door and point a gun to whoever's in there. And shoot if somebody comes out of the... Like shoot if someone just pops out of nowhere. And I just think it's crazy, like how Donald Trump's, like what he said. He said, if you loot, we will shoot. Like he's giving the police a right to be more brutal than they already are. I heard him say in a video, I only heard the video for like a brief minute, but I heard him say that he doesn't want the police to have no mercy on anybody that they catch or put in their car. That's just crazy to me. And I kind of feel the racism going on a lot of times when I leave the house. And say I'm somewhere with like, say if I'm at the grocery store with Junior or with Keisha. Like there was this one time at Pete's Fresh Market. It happens very often too. The same lady, anytime we go in her line, me and Junior, she is nosy as can be, just nosy. And me and her don't even talk. Like, I'm not friends with that lady. She's just always trying to make small talk. Every time she sees me and Junior, she'll be like, oh, I remember you guys. And I just get so annoyed when she does that. Like, she had the nerve to ask. She had the nerve to ask us. She had the nerve to ask me if I was Junior's nurse or home care nurse. And me, because I'm like too nice, and I'm the type where like I don't want to make a scene in public, and I kind of care what people think. I don't really have the guts to say like, why is that your business? But that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like, why is it your business? But every time we go there, she asks the same question. And we're the type of customers that get the same thing every time. Just like, we'll get the eternal alkaline water. And so the lady, what I said to her, I was like, I said, no, that's my roommate. But she asks me the same thing every time she sees me. So like now every time Junior and I got to go to that Pete's, I always tell him like, I always say to him like, I don't want to go in that line with that lady. I'm like, I don't want to go in no express line. Like, I honestly don't care if we got to wait in line. I just don't want to deal with that lady. Because I honestly think she's just very rude and nosy. I mean, another lady at the pizza in Oak Park, when Keisha and I would go, the minute or whatever day I would go to, when I would go to Pete's by myself, and Keisha wasn't with me, or Junior wasn't with me, the cashier, she would ask me, she'd be like, she was a Spanish lady, and she asked me, she's like, is that lady you're always with, is that your aunt? And just to shut her up so I wouldn't have to hear it no more, I would just be like, yeah, that's my aunt. Or one Uber driver one time, I was in the car with, at the time with like Keisha, her younger cousin, and it was me. And the Uber driver was like Italian mixed with Spanish. And this lady asked me if Keisha was my mother. So I'm like, no, she's my roommate. It's like when people ask that question, like, when they look at you weird just because, well, technically, a lot of like Caucasians will look at me and see a white girl, but I'm 100% Italian. And you can't really tell because my Tuscany background makes me look like pasty white. So if I was like 100% Sicilian, my skin would be a lot darker. Like my skin would be like as dark as a Mexican. But I do have like half Sicilian and half Tuscany in me. And if you look back on the Sicilian, like the Sicilian history, Sicilians did in fact go through slavery in their country. Well, back in the old days. Because my grandma used to educate me on that. She would tell me like, that the Sicilian slaves, that the fat slaves, she would say the fat slaves were stronger. And then the old Italian culture, that it was looked at as beautiful if Italian woman was like heavier. And she would tell me that the skinny slaves, that they would fall to the ground and that they weren't as strong. I don't know if that's true because like I wasn't there at that time. But I'm gonna take my grandma's word for it, just because like she lived in Sicily, so I would think she knows more about the history. At one time, and when I was working at Jewel, this one lady, she asked me if I was Greek. And when I told her, no, I'm Sicilian. She then looked at me side-eyed, like as if she was racist against Sicilians. And I always wonder why, like, whenever I would speak Italian, or whenever I speak Sicilian to like my Italian customers back when I worked at Jewel, the full-blown Caucasians would be looking at me like they were just angry and just disappointed that, or like they didn't like my kind. But this one guy, when I told him that worked in my old job, I told him, like, when he asked me my nationality, I told him I was Sicilian. And he was surprised. He's like, oh, that means you're black. And I looked at him weird, like, what? And then when I moved in with Junior and Keisha, I asked about the history of the Sicilian race, because my family never went into that. They kind of kept me in the dark about it. he had told me that because I'm half Sicilian, that means that I have like, I think it was, yeah, that I have like 3/4 black in me. Because I'm Southern Italian. And like when I was growing up, kids would always tell me, like the Polish girls I was friends with, they would say to me, they'd be like, I can't see you dating a white guy. Like, they'd be like, I can't see you dating a white guy. I can see you dating a black guy. I think it's because they were thinking about, because of me being Southern Italian, at the time I didn't know what my history was. And because, unlike the people that I went to school with, I was very open-minded. I was always open-minded. I was not raised to be racist. Because my mom, she was like one of those, she was like one of those real religious type of people. Like real, she always tried to say like she wanted to be practice being a good Christian and stuff like that. And most of the people at her job, most of her friends at work were all black women. And like when I used to hang out with like, I have friends that were black. Like this one guy that worked in my old job, I used to hang out with him. And my neighbors, they were so racist. My neighbors were like, my neighbor was a Polish cop. Like he was like the typical like the type of cop you would not like. Like I didn't even like the guy. I felt like he was just nosy and all in my business. Like he would pull my brother to the side and he'd be like, asking him about me, and be like, who does your sister hang out with? Like, do you know any of her friends? Like he was just asking questions like that. Cause I was the type of person where like, when I was living in the suburbs, I was very like low key. I didn't get into any trouble. My friends, on the other hand, they were all getting in trouble. They were the type where they'd be drinking and they get so drunk that they would get out of the car and decide to go streaking down the street. And a couple times, and I know that because a couple times I had to give them money to bail them out. And I'd just be like, And they would be sitting in jail for hours. Like, just sitting at the police station. And they'd have to pay like $100 fine. So me and a bunch of people from my school, from my high school, we ended up trying to bail this girl out that I knew. And all of us had to pay $20. Well, all of us had to chip in $20. And it was a white girl. It was very... This girl, when she would drink, she acted like she had no sense. And I know, like, a lot of you guys are thinking, like, alcohol will do that. That it will... That'll make you have to make stupid decisions. But me personally... anytime I think I've drank... Not one time have I ever thought about going out streaking. If anything, it just makes me sleepy. It makes me want to sleep, or say if I'm somewhere where there's like a dance floor and I have a few drinks, it's gonna make me want to get on the dance floor and start dancing. Or it'll just have me like real social, wanting to talk to people. Cause normally, like, on camera, I probably seem like a chatterbox. But off camera, with a lot of people, they'll say like that I seem like reserved or real quiet when they first meet me. It's mostly because like when people first meet me, I kind of like to I don't like to. It's hard for me to be myself at first. Like I have to kind of get comfortable with them to like. I have to get comfortable with them to kind of let them in. Because, like, my shyness, it's like, I feel like sometimes I kind of, like, build a wall. And if I don't trust the person, then I'm not going to talk to them. Or if I don't know them, I'm not going to talk to them. So it'll take me like, the first time I meet you, I'll be quiet, and then the second time, I'll be a little more chatty, because by the second time, I'm more comfortable with you. Like second or third time, usually. Because I notice when it comes to like, if I'm somewhere and say I see a guy that I'm attracted to, I'm shy, like you would not believe, to even talk to them. Like if I feel like I'm having a bad hair day, I'm not gonna want to talk to them. Or my hair is up and it's like one of those days where it's like really hot outside, my hair is just frizzy. After I just flat ironed it, it's just frizzy. And I feel like I don't look good. I just feel like I don't want to talk to a guy. Like, a guy could be checking me out, and I won't even notice. Like, he'll be checking me out, and I'll be looking at the skinny, stuck-up white girls that are, like, they're right in front of me. I'll be looking at them from behind, and then once they turn around and notice that I'm looking, I look away. Because, like when I'm checking someone out, I don't want them to notice that I'm checking them out. I'm, like, real, like, discreet about it. So, roomies, I had so much fun eating and talking with you guys. I always have fun talking to my roomies. So, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell button so you can get future notifications every time the roommates drop a new video. Thank you all for watching. Peace out, y'all. We love you. Remember to live, love, and laugh. Bye, y'all.